Welcome to the Yes Lady with CharlaA, your encouragement solutions for outrageous business. I'm excited to introduce you today to Scott Reib of ReibLaw.com.
That's right.
It's time to say yes to your future. Each week, CharlaA interviews business owners that are breaking the mold. Tune in each Thursday to discover how you can too. Here's your host, the Yes Lady herself, CharlaA.
Scott Reib of ReibLaw.com is your name and your passion. And you have come with us today because what Offbeat Business Media does and what we are doing here with the Yes Lady with CharlaA is helping small businesses have access to resources and solutions. And I believe that the legal issues are probably the one that most people put their head in the sand, la, 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 I don't want to deal with it. And that's what we're going to talk about with you today. Would you just give me a little bit of, I know you want to take the mumbo jumbo out of the legalese, right. And I love that because there's no need for it except for paying lawyers big bucks, right?
That's right.
So you got the big bucks, so I want to hear from you how we can really address those issues that small businesses are facing on a regular basis, and introduce yourself to our listeners today.
Great. Charla, I love the word that you used there, access, because that's really what I've built my whole law firm on, is that word access. Small business in particular has been completely left out, locked out of the legal world. If you look at Fortune 500 companies, there's lawyers everywhere in those companies, and there's a reason for that. It's because they know they need that advice on demand. But small business has not had that opportunity because of the way the legal system traditionally works. Traditionally, you pay a lawyer by the hour or by the minute, and every time you call a lawyer, money flies out of your pocket. And so about 6 years ago, we turned that on its head and created a process and a program where small business owners, entrepreneurs, online business people can have access to the same kind of legal services and information that the big guys have.
That's amazing and incredible, and I know that is when I first met you, that's what I found differentiated you, because I get scared. I mean, I've got to, do I need to call a lawyer, and where do I start? And they're going to take advantage of me. I don't, so I'm personally, very resistant to taking any, to addressing the legal things that have to be addressed. And so when I heard that you have an access point, I think it's called access plan, right? It's an access plan that they can be a subscriber to and have that kind of access. And do you want to explain what that looks like?
Sure, I'll give you kind of a thumbnail of what that looks like. And we call ourselves Access Business Lawyers. And we have 4 different levels in our Access program. So if you're a startup business owner, I understand there's not a lot of cash to go around, so you have to have kind of a starting point. And so we have a plan for the startup business owner, or maybe even a more do-it-yourself person that really likes to get their hands dirty, really do some of the legal stuff, and then they'd like someone else maybe to bless it for them. And then as you go up the stair steps, it's just more done for you. And you get to the top level of the plan, and it's really like having your own lawyer in your business. I mean, we're doing everything, all the legal stuff for you. I like to say, so you can get back to doing what really matters, which is running your own business, spending time with your family, not looking at legal issues. This process started about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's taken some time, and there's been some twists and turns along the way, but the goal was to make legal affordable.
And that's amazing, and I love that program. And I know that we met at Ziegler, so right. I'm a Ziegler Legacy Certified Trainer. You are too, and you said your daughter or your son is a Ziegler Youth certified.
That's right.
And so that's where we met, and I'm very committed to the Ziegler brand, as you are, and you are the official attorney for the Zieglers. And I bring that up because it gives a a different kind of credibility. And this month, all of my guests are kind of through Ziegler.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm the official small business lawyer for the Ziegler Corporation. And what that means is that I do all their legal work. And then I'm also the person that they send people to when they need help. They have, as you know, if you go on to any of the major social media platforms, it's really hard to have more followers than Ziegler has. Zig's legacy is huge, and so they have people from all walks of life, all different levels of economic success who need help. And so as the official small business lawyer, we get a lot of inquiries from people that really can't maybe afford legal services, but they just need some help. And as we know, that's what Ziegler is all about, is helping people. Exactly.
And you have a subscription model. That's what you were just explaining then, with the different levels of that. And is that something that you is as a relative to their ability to pay, or is it a flat fee that you're?
No, it's really not based on their ability to pay. We've got the 4 different levels, and they kind of just are. And so you figure out where you fit in those 4 different levels on kind of that is a budget-driven decision. I understand that, but those are the 4 different levels. And then we have some clients that we have custom plans for, and so there could be a time where we would do something different than that. Maybe your needs are just a little bit different. But generally speaking, the only way we can really provide this kind of service in a scalable way is if we have, here's the 4 different plans, and we really need most of our clients to fit within those plans.
And that's awesome. So you also have, I know you're located in the DFW area.
Yes.
Do you do long distance? Does it have to be geographically?
I have some long distance relationships. We have clients that we've never met.
Oh.
Clients that I've seen their face. We use different online platforms like Zoom to where I see their face, we know each other, but we've never met. Because as a general counsel, I'm licensed to practice law in the state of Texas and in the state of Oklahoma. So I can go to your office, to your business, we can do legal stuff in your state. If you're out of state, for instance in Florida where that client is, then we can only do basically general counsel type things. We can review your contracts, we can help you with policies and procedures, we can help you with employment related things, we can help you with intellectual property. We can't file things in court. We can't do those things, but what we can do then is help you find that resource, quarterback the situation so that you don't have to worry about it again, so you can get back to what really matters.
I love that, quarterbacking it. That's very cool. So there's some certain things. So there's one thing that you mentioned earlier that is the one thing that most business owners are missing. Do you want to address that?
Yeah, we talked about a couple things, but I think the one that really they're missing out on is contracts. They aren't using written contracts, or they're using really bad contracts. There's kind of this pendulum that swings. Either they're doing nothing's in writing, we're still doing the handshake deal, which you can't do anymore, or they're using really bad forms that they've downloaded from the internet, or that the other party has just presented to them, and they're just trusting them and signing it.
And you review those and help.
Correct. Yeah, that's a huge part of the Access plan, is that you no longer have to sign those blindly. You send them in, the Access team reviews them, prepares a memo that shows you the trouble spots, the questions, and then you can make a business decision with the real information as to whether that's a good deal for you or not. And for instance, the client out of Florida was about to sign a contract, and then he realized, wait, I'm now an Access client. I can send that in to Scott. He'll review it, and then I can make a decision. He sent it in, we reviewed that document, and when it came back, it was really an unsignable contract.
Really?
And it saved him tens of thousands of dollars by not doing the deal. He was in shock because
he trusted them.
And a few months before, he would have signed it.
What a blessing you have been then to many, many people. And I know that, there's a few jokes. Do people talk about jokes with lawyers?
I've heard that.
Yeah. So where is your credentials? Where do you come from, and how did you get here? And you've been in law for what, 20 years?
Yeah, because it's 21 years now. It goes by very quickly. I've had the law firm Reib Law that we founded in 2005, so that's 13 plus years. And then we really started doing the focus on small business law about 7 years ago, and then it took me a while to figure out how to provide this scalable service for small business in an affordable way. And that's where I kind of got into business coaching, and that's how we're connected because of that journey. I had to find someone to help me. I did not know how to develop it. I had a vision, but I didn't know how to develop it. And so I went through a few different coaches, and then started getting certifications, right? And eventually we had the Access Plan. You mentioned one of the certifications I hold, which is I'm a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer. I'm also obviously a lawyer. I graduated from the University of Oklahoma School of Law in 1996, a long time ago. And now I'm also licensed in the state of Oklahoma. And my experience base is that I started out as a lawyer doing federal litigation on copyright, trademark, patent litigation for huge Fortune 500 companies, and was really bored. I didn't feel like I was helping anybody. And so then I tried a couple other different things in the law where I was working for more individuals. I've litigated about everything you can litigate in Texas, and decided, like I said, 6 or 7 years ago, that really wasn't what I wanted to be doing. Not that there's anything wrong with litigation, you have to do that sometimes, but I wanted to be more proactive and try to help people avoid the courtroom, because courtrooms and trials are only good for lawyers.
Wow, coming from a lawyer, that's a big statement. So we're going to take a quick break right now with the Yes Lady with CharlaA with Scott Reib. We'll be right back. REIB. I just want to make that clear. REIB. ScottReibLaw.com.
No.
The American business economy is positioned as it has never been before. Professional videography is a core element for attracting a higher level of engagement with the people group you need for significant impact. Now is your time to shine. My name is Bill Brock, owner of White Rock Films, and I invite you to a powerful opportunity in the marketplace. An opportunity to draw excited people to your events, an opportunity to showcase your ideas on infrastructure, an opportunity to become known as the industry authority and enjoy the associated benefits of a strong, influential brand. Video highlights, video teaches. Video puts a resistant market at ease, and video stirs the hearts and imaginations of your allies and strategic client base. White Rock Films offers full audio, video production for businesses ready to embrace the future, handling your project with professionalism, experience, and polish unheard of in the industry. My name is Bill Brock, and White Rock Films wants your business. See us online at whiterockfilms.com.
Experience the Zeal difference.
It's my favorite beverage.
I never thought nutrition could taste so good.
I know it's why I feel the best I've ever felt.
Wouldn't start my day without this beverage.
Every once in a while, a product comes along that's so innovative, it has the ability to shake up how we feel about nutrition. You're about to be introduced to a one-of-a-kind nutritional powerhouse. It's scientifically formulated and backed by a landmark clinical trial. This wellness product has created a movement that has already generated over $300 million in sales. It continues to change lives, create a thirst in people to be healthier, and is inspiring generations in ways other beverages simply do not. It's called Zeal, and thousands of people worldwide, just like you, appreciate that it takes the guesswork out of nutrition and why it's loved by so many. If you don't experience the Zeal difference in 30 days, we'll refund your money. Join us in this movement and experience the Zeal difference.
Okay, we're back with the Yes Lady with CharlaA with Scott Reib of ReibLaw.com, and I'm wanting to move on into the second thing, or one of the other things that you were talking about, we talked about earlier, which I believe is branding and mistakes that some of us are making in the branding. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there right now. There's a lot of us, trying to build businesses. We're in a great environment for that. So what is some of the downfalls and pitfalls that you've seen on the branding side? Yeah,
that's a great topic, and one that I spend a lot of time focused on. I'm a marketing guy. I have a marketing degree. I love marketing. That's what I wanted to do out of school, and then there were no marketing jobs in the early 90s, so I went back to school to become a business lawyer. And so now I get the chance to combine those things for me at Reib Law and with ScottReib.com, but I also get to do it for my clients. And so there's many times where we'll actually start having marketing conversations, branding conversations with our Access clients. And one of the things that we've run into is, and this real entrepreneurial era is that people are starting businesses really quickly, and they're not checking all the boxes, right? They're having the entrepreneurial seizure, like Michael Gerber says, and I'm a great technician, so I should be able to start my own business, and they do, and they may even be successful. Sometimes that's the worst part, is that they're successful and they haven't checked the boxes, and so you've got a weak foundation. One of the parts of the foundation that many skip over is protecting the brand. What is a brand? A brand is your name, it's the colors that you use, it's the logo that you use, it's everything the general public looks at and associates with your business. And there's a way to protect that, right? Well, the first step is to make sure that you're not using someone else's brand. And a mistake I've seen people do is they'll start building a successful business and they're accidentally building it on someone else's brand. Well, you're losing a lot of the value in your business. I mean, the goal for a lot of small business owners is to be able to sell that business someday. The asset that you're building is the brand. And if you haven't protected it, if you don't have a trademark on that brand, you may not have as much to sell as you think. And so the way you have to protect that is when you start your business and you create what am I going to call this thing, right? And you're coming up with the creative names, well, you have to do some searches. I mean, you can start with some basic Google searches and just try to figure out, is anyone already using that name in the same class of business that I'm going into? Okay, that's clear. Check that box. Well, then let's go on to one of the domain places where you can buy your website, your domain, your URL, and let's check that and see what's out there with that. And then follow those rabbit trails, look at the people that maybe have something similar that keeps you from getting what you want, and then you've checked that box. And then the final box is to actually hire an intellectual property lawyer to do a trademark search at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And then you get a report showing you all the similar marks, and then you can make an educated decision as to whether what you're trying to do is too similar to something else to get registered. And then the next step is to check the next box out. You actually register your name with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and ask them to give you a trademark. If you look at advertisements and things, you'll often see a circle R next to the logo.
Yeah.
That means it's a registered trademark. If you see a TM, that means it's a trademark, but it hasn't been registered.
Oh.
So
I didn't know the difference there.
That's right.
That's
so
cool.
Once you've determined this is going to be my trademark, then we want to use the TM to show the world, I consider this to be a trademark. It may not have been approved yet by the United States office, but I consider this a trademark, and time is everything on that brand. It really is who used it first in commerce. And so we want to be able to prove that we did that. And so those are some of the steps that you follow. If you don't do that, you could accidentally infringe on someone else's brand, and there's really not a defense. There's no oops defense. You just did it, and there's statutory penalties. You can end up you'll get sued. You can pay huge attorney's fees, and then maybe even the worst thing is you have to stop what you're doing and rebrand your whole business. An example of that is that we have a client that's in the DJing business. It started out as a family business, then they sold it to the client that we have now about on year 6. We're now in year 11. They're in 6 different states. No one would have ever thought they would have expanded like that. They thought they were a local company. Now it'll be in 10 states in the next few months. It just keeps growing. Well, in one of our calls, we discovered that they have not done a trademark for their brand.
Oh, no.
The company that they bought didn't have a trademark, and now they don't have a trademark. So we start checking the boxes, and when we get the trademark search in, there's some marks that are really similar.
Oh, dear.
And so then you're faced with this problem of, if we go forward and file for our trademark, then we're showing the world that we're using this mark that could be infringing on these other marks. They took the gamble, they filed it, and it was accepted. Had it not been accepted, they would have had to change the brand of this now almost 20-year venture.
Wow.
Because of a mistake that was made at the very beginning, that someone didn't check the box and make sure that part of their foundation was clear. And we're seeing that a lot.
And that was something I was thinking. So often you start a business and you're just, I just clean houses. This is my little business. It's just going to be here. You get a brand, and nobody around here is using that name. So that's an example that you may ultimately want to sell it. Actually, every business should have the ultimate goal to be scalable and sellable, right? No matter what. And goes back into legacy. So then you're leaving all these years you've built something, then you have opportunity to leave and pass on. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's a big deal. I know a lot of, when we have these businesses that start so small and think they're just going to be local, and then luck would have it, grace, they start growing, and next thing you know, they have you to thank for researching and finding their trademark.
Yeah.
And does it cost anything to go to get your registered trademark?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's almost a cost to everything in business, right? But it's all you're investing in the business. And I get it. When you're bootstrapping, you're trying to build something from nothing, you don't have all this spare cash. And so you have to be strategic about where you spend your money. But this needs to be on the radar, that this is one of those boxes that as soon as I can, I need to check the box. There's a couple of those boxes, right? There's the I need to be incorporated box, that we can't be a sole proprietor anymore. Now that's one of the other steps that people, they start out and they have a van and some tools and they start working, and then they get a few years down the road and go, oh, I need to come back, now I need to form a corporation or an LLC. And people do that. And so that's then a really good time to go, okay, this is real. I'm a real business now. Let's check this other box of making sure that what we've just called ourselves in a corporate name is actually our name. And you trademark it. And I mean, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars doing that. I think our average package for a trademark is around $1,200, which I get that's a lot of money, but in the long run, it's not. To invest $1,200, $1,500 in making sure you have the brand that you're building is really a very small investment in your future.
It's to make it legitimate, right? It legitimizes everything and gives you the peace of mind that will perpetuate your business. So that's a great thing. So what other piece of advice that you feel the small business could use? One more nugget that you want to share as we just end up closing this out pretty soon?
Yeah, that's a hard thing to answer, because there's several really important things, right? I think the number one thing, though, is that you've got to have a team of professionals around you to make sure that you know which boxes to check, right? Some key relationships that every small business owner should have. The first relationship that you have to have as a small business owner is you've got to have a banker. You have to have a banking relationship, and that doesn't mean an ATM machine. You've got to have a banker that knows your name, knows what you look like. You've got their cell phone number in your phone, because at some point you're going to have a cash flow crisis. And when you do, you want to be able to call them and say, I need to write a check today, and I'm picking up a check tonight that I can deposit that will
Cover
be
it,
in the
yes.
bank. And you need to know that Ted at the bank is going to cover that check for you. And that only happens with relationship. The second key relationship that you just have to have, you just can't do without it, is you have to have a CPA. You could use an accountant, but you've got to have someone that's very knowledgeable in how to help you track what you're spending on your business, so that you can eventually get to a known financial position and know whether you're making a profit or not. Too many business owners are running down this road of business and they don't know if they're making money. They're taking money home maybe, but they don't know if they're actually making money, right?
That's a huge piece. And so a lot of us are, we're just spinning our wheels in this, business, and we don't have time to look up and go, am I making any money here? Is there profit at the end of the day? So I appreciate you bringing that piece home for us too. So that's a huge piece. So an accountant or a CPA that has that expertise.
It's in small business, so that they can help you with, how you set up your chart of accounts in QuickBooks, how to run QuickBooks, how to figure out problems you have in QuickBooks, how to read a financial statement. What's an income statement? What's a balance sheet? As a small business owner, you should know what these things are, and most of us didn't go to business school.
No,
I'm fortunate,
that's true.
I did, but most business owners did not. They learned how to do something well, and they turned that into a business. Now you got to catch up, and the way you do that is you leverage these relationships with professionals. The next one you have to have an insurance broker that can tell you the kinds of coverage you need for your business, so that you're not out there at everything at risk that you've just built. right? So you need someone that's going to sit down with you, understand your business, understand the exposures you have, make recommendations. Again, it comes down to cash. You may not be able to buy everything that they say you need, but guess what? Now you know. You know what you need. And again, we can check the boxes, we can budget for it. As soon as we hit that number, we can pick up this coverage so that we can keep this thing that we're building safe. And then the fourth relationship is you really need to have a business lawyer. And that doesn't mean the business lawyer that you know from Rotary, that you just maybe eat lunch with every once in a while, or that you're in the Chamber of Commerce with. You need one that you have a relationship with now. Otherwise, when the storms come, right, because it's not if, it's when. They're
Right.
coming. You're going to have problems in business. And when they come, you don't want to have to go buy your plywood then, right?
Exactly.
You want to already have the relationship lined up to where you know the lawyer, you know their firm, they know you, they know how you work.
Pick up the phone.
You can call them, you have their cell number, you can text them. Who calls anyone anymore? You want to text them and say, hey, this just happened, what do I do? The bottom just fell out, what do I do?
Those are, that's incredible final words that I believe that you're being very clear with. Get your team together and, and assemble them and have that trust relationship.
That's right.
Every small business really wants to move into that profitable, complete business that they can leave to their family and generate income, make a difference in the world,
That's right.
and that's really probably the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
How can we contact you?
Well, you can reach out a couple of different ways. You can go to reiblaw.com, that's REIBLAW.com. You can go to scottreib.com, SCOTTREIB.com, or you can find me on Instagram at @TheScottReib. And all of those platforms will work. We will monitor those very carefully, and we'll get back with you and try to help you wherever you might be at that moment.
It gives me a great deal of confidence to know you because relationships are huge. Yep. Trust is huge. And I feel confident now that if I need something, I know where to go. And also, one other question. You have those people, do you have referral sources in the access plan?
Oh, you bet. And
those people that you were just talking about.
Yes, and we kind of require our access clients to have that team.
Okay.
Right? You have to have it.
But you have people that you can refer if we don't know who they are. So that would be perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today, Scott. It is so awesome to have experts like you that we can trust. And I can feel confident in referring to our team at Offbeat Business Media and the Yes Lady with CharlaA. Hi, I'm the Yes Lady with CharlaA, powered by Zeal Wellness. Zeal is my nutrition beverage of choice. It is 14,000 milligrams of superfood nutrition in a powdered formula that you can just shake it and take it out the door, grab and go, have energy, vitality, reduce your stress, some incredible health benefits. It's incredibly cost effective, and it is going to change your life. I'd love for you to join me. Go to charla.zealforlife.com, charla.zealforlife.com. Join me in being healthy, focused, full of energy, tastes great. Zeal for Life.
That's all for the Yes Lady with CharlaA today. The Yes Lady with CharlaA is produced by the OBBM Network and available on demand at offbeatbusinessmedia.com. The Yes Lady also airs each Thursday at 12 and 8 p.m. on OBBM Radio, available on iTunes and offbeatbusinessmedia.com. Download the Offbeat Business app to get the Yes Lady TV and podcast on demand. To be a guest on the Yes Lady, call 817-808-7703.